My name is Zainab, and before my life changed, I was just a quiet girl from a small village called Jadent Sunny, a place where everybody knew each other and dreams were treated like stories. I grew up watching my mother grind pepper under the scorching sun, her wrapper tied tightly around her waist, sweat dripping down her back. My father, a gentle tailor with tired eyes, worked from morning till night but never earned enough to feed us comfortably. Yet, whenever I told them I wanted more out of life, they smiled as if they believed it was possible. But I could see the truth in their eyes: fear. Fear that I was dreaming too big. Fear that my wings would break before they even opened. Still, when my admission letter arrived from a polytechnic in the city, my father hugged me so tightly I feared my bones would break. My mother cried into her scarf. "Go and make us proud," she whispered. "And never forget where you are going." Those words became the map of my life. I left home with one small Ghana-Moscow bag, a few clothes, and 10,000 naira. I had never traveled alone before. The city, with its noisy buses, smoke-filled air, men shouting prices, and endless movement, hit me like a storm. Nothing prepared me for the chaos. The driver dropped me at the school gate, and I dragged my bag to the nearest hostel I found. Victory Lodge, painted a fading yellow, with rusted gates and a caretaker who looked like he never smiled. His name was Mr. Bello, a short man with a potbelly and a voice like sandpaper. "You be new student?" he asked, looking at me as if I had offended him. "Yes, sir. I need a room." He sized me from head to toe, his eyes lingering too long. "Room no 85,000 per semester. And you go pay caretaker fee join." "How much is the caretaker fee?" He smirked. "As you look so. 10,000. My heart sank. I only had 10,000 naira for everything. I tried to tell him I couldn't afford it, but he cut me off sharply. "If you no get money, go find another place." I knew no other place. I stood there helplessly, tears burning behind my eyes. Then, a girl passed by and whispered, "If you beg him, he fit reduce am." I swallowed my pride. "Please sir, can you reduce it?" He sighed dramatically, as if I was wasting his time. "Okay, give me 4,000 for caretaker fee and enter." That was how I lost almost half my money on the first day. Her name was Amora, tall, pretty, with long artificial lashes and nails so sharp they looked dangerous. At first, she was sweet. Too sweet. "Welcome, dear," she squealed. "We'll be like sisters." I believed her. That was my first mistake. Within 1 week, she borrowed my bucket, my stove, my money. None of those things ever returned. She snapped her fingers at me. "I beg, don't stress me. I used them yesterday. They are with my friend. Can I have them back?" She laughed. "Are they running away?" I kept quiet. I didn't want trouble. But trouble came anyway. It was my second week in school. My mother had sent me 5,000 naira to buy foodstuff. I kept the money inside my bag. That evening, I returned from class and found my bag open. The money was gone. I turned to Amora. "Have you seen my money?" She hissed loudly. "Are you accusing me?" "Me? Am I a thief?" I tried to stay calm. "I'm not accusing you. I'm just asking." She jumped up furiously. "You must be mad. Do I look like someone that will steal your 5,000? Her voice drew other hostel girls. They gathered and stared at me like I was the problem. I felt shame crawl up my body. I didn't accuse her. But everyone believed her. Because she was beautiful, confident, city smart. And I was just Zainab, the girl who looked lost. That night, I cried myself to sleep. And for the first time, I thought of going home. With no money, I started doing odd jobs. Washing clothes for other students. cleaning rooms, helping sell snacks, writing assignments for people. I worked till my hands hurt. I worked until my back ached. Sometimes, I slept hungry. One evening, I fainted during class. When I opened my eyes, I was in the school clinic. A nurse was touching my wrist gently. "Why you know they eat?" she asked softly. I lied. "I forget." She looked at me with pity. "Don't kill yourself, my daughter." But I felt like I was already dying slowly, drowning under the weight of school, stress, and loneliness. One afternoon, Mr. Bello, the caretaker, came to our room. "Una never pay light bill." Amora stood up. "Oga, abeg hold on. My boyfriend go send me money." Mr. Bello's eyes landed on me. "Zainab, how about you?" "I don't have money yet, sir, but..." Before I could finish, he shouted loudly. "Leave this room by weekend if you no fit pay." My entire body went cold. Viv. Where would I go? I had no family in the city. No friend. No money. That night, as I washed plates outside the hostel just to earn 300 naira, tears rolled down my cheeks and mixed with the soapy water. Everyone around me seemed to know where their life was going, except me. I thought of my mother's words. "Never forget where you are going." But that night, I didn't even know where I was anymore. 2 days later, I was sitting outside, sewing a torn handbag for a girl in the hostel. I wasn't a fashion designer, just someone who could use needle and thread. A woman passing by stopped. She was tall, elegant, wearing a simple gown and glasses. She watched me sew for a few seconds. "Who taught you that?" she asked. "My father, Ma." She smiled gently. "You're very good." I shrugged. "I just try small." "No," she said firmly, "you're talented." She asked if I could mend a dress for her. I agreed. She paid me 1,500 naira, triple what I expected. That day was the first day I smiled in weeks. Her name was Mrs. Amina, a lecturer in the school. She began bringing more clothes, then telling her friends about me. Slowly, very slowly, I began to breathe again. But problems were not done with me. I met Sadiq during my second semester. He was kind, funny, and hardworking. He noticed me when others didn't. We became close. Too close. For a moment, I forgot all my struggles. But one afternoon, I went to his department to surprise him, only to find him under a tree, laughing and hugging another girl. Her arms were wrapped tightly around him. He didn't see me. But I saw everything. I walked back to my hostel, each step like walking on glass. When I reached my room, I collapsed on the floor and cried into my pillow until my chest hurt. That night, I failed to read. Failed to sleep. Failed to eat. I failed everything, including my mid-semester test the next day. Life didn't just hit me, it swallowed me. I returned to the hostel to find my things outside. Mr. Bello stood at the door. "Since you no fit pay bill, pack your load comot." My mouth went dry. "But sir." "No but." I know they repeat myself. I felt the word tilt. I sat beside my scattered belongings as people walked past me like I didn't exist. It started to rain. A slow drizzle, then a downpour. I hugged my bag and cried. I cried until I couldn't breathe. I cried until the rain hid my tears. I made a promise to myself. I won't die poor. I won't die unnoticed. I won't die without fighting. That was the night Zainab began to change. That was the night my journey to becoming someone truly began. The rain continued to fall. Cold. Heavy. Unforgiving. I sat on that veranda all night, hugging my bag like it was the only thing anchoring me to this world. My clothes were soaked. My scarf was heavy with water. My teeth chattered, Not just from cold, but from fear. By the time the rain stopped, the sky had already begun to lighten. Weak sunlight. Morning. I had nowhere to go. My body ached as I stood up. My bones felt like they had been beaten. I looked around the quiet compound. Students were beginning to wake up. Some stared at me as they passed. No one asked if I was okay. Why would they? I carried my bag and walked slowly toward the school mosque. It was the only safe place I could think of. I sat at the back, hidden from sight, and finally allowed myself to cry properly. Not small tears. Deep, shaking sobs. I cried for my parents. I cried for my broken heart. I cried because I was tired of being strong. After far prayer, an elderly woman approached me. She had kind eyes and a soft smile. "My daughter," she said gently, "you slept here." I hesitated, then nodded. She looked at my soaked clothes and shivered on my behalf. "Come. Follow me." Her name was Mama Sarah. She sold food beside the mosque and tea in the mornings. She lived in a small room behind her shop. That morning, she gave me hot tea, warm rice, dry clothes. I ate like someone who hadn't seen food in days, because I truly hadn't. She didn't ask many questions. She only said, "The world is already heavy. No need to make it heavier for yourself with silence." That night, she let me sleep on a thin mattress in her room. It wasn't a hostel. But for the first time in days, I slept without crying. The next morning, I wore the same clothes Mama Sarah gave me. My scarf was neatly washed and dry. I returned to school. Students whispered when they saw me. Some looked surprised. Some looked amused. Some looked sorry. Mr. Bello saw me pass and hissed loudly. I didn't look at him. I had alarms more important than his wicked heart. After lectures, I waited behind the faculty building where Mrs. Amina usually passed. When she saw me, she frowned. "Zainab, what happened to you?" I wanted to lie. But the truth poured out like water from a broken tap. She listened quietly. When I finished, her eyes were wet. "You've been sleeping outside." I nodded. Without hesitation, she said, "You will come and stay in my domestic quarter for now. We'll sort the hostel issue later." Just like that, I had a roof again. Living in Mrs. Amina's place changed everything. Not because life became easy, but because I finally had stability. Every night after classes, I sewed. I stitched. Torn skirts. Ripped shirts. Tight dresses. Loose trousers. I sewed until my fingers were sore. Mrs. Amina told her colleagues. Lecturers began to bring clothes. Students followed. Soon, my small corner became a sewing point. For the first time in my life, money entered my hand steadily. Little by little. I paid off my debts. I saved. I ate well again. I sent small money home. My mother cried on the phone. "My daughter, God is truly with you." One afternoon, Mrs. Amina brought a flyer home. Inter-school fashion competition. Winner gets 500,000 Nigerian nairas. Sewing machines. Internship with a top fashion house in Lagos. She placed it in front of me. "You will enter." I laughed nervously. "Me?" "Yes. You." For weeks, I didn't sleep properly. I designed. I cut. I stitched. I ruined fabrics. I cried. I tried again. The night before the competition, I held the dress I made and whispered, "This is not just cloth. This is my life." The hall was full. Lights. Cameras. Judges. Designers. My heart was beating so fast I thought I would faint. Models walked the runway. Then, it was my turn. My mother stepped out in my dress, a long elegant gown inspired by Northern culture, modest, beautiful, powerful. The hall went quiet. Then applause exploded. When the winner was announced, I didn't hear it instantly. My ears were ringing. Winner. Zainab Youssef. For a second, I thought they made a mistake. Then Mrs. Amina pushed me forward, crying and laughing at the same time. I walked to the stage shaking. 500,000 Nigerian nairas. Just like that. From rain to runway. When I returned to my village during the next break, I didn't come with shame anymore. I came with sewing machines. I came with fabrics. I came with hope. My father cried openly for the first time in my life. My mother held me and kept repeating. You didn't forget where you were going. Years later, I stood in my own fashion studio in Lagos. Big mirrors. Golden logo. Students learning under me. On the wall was a framed photo of a soaked girl sitting in the rain with her bag. Under it was written. This was the night I refused to give up. I lost my room. I lost my love. I lost my pride. I lost everything. But I found myself. And that is how a homeless girl in the rain became Zainab.